Hi everybody, we are continuing to study the Visual Basic language, especially the console applications. In this introductory lesson to the Visual Basic language, we will create a small console application and perform some simple calculations. Start Microsoft Visual Studio. In the Visual Studio 2022 dialog box, click Create a New Project. In the Create a New Project dialog box, in the Languages combo box, select Visual Basic. In the list of project templates, select Console App. It should be selected already. Click Next. In the Configure Your New Project dialog box, change the project name to Payroll Evaluation 2. Set the location to anything you want. Click Next. In the Additional Information dialog box, in the Framework combo box, select the highest version. For me, it's .NET 9.0 Standard Term Support. Click Create. To start our code, we first write a few accessory lines to announce the application. We start with a name, and then we indicate that we will request some values from the user. We first request a first name as a string. Then we request a last name as a string also. Then we request the hourly salary. Our timesheet will span 2 weeks. So we first request the values for the time worked on the first week. We request the value for Monday, which is a double precision number. We request the time worked on Tuesday. Then request the time worked on Wednesday. Then we request the time worked on Thursday. And finally, we request the time worked for Friday of the first week. We request the values for the second week. So in the same way, we request the value for Monday, followed by the value for Tuesday, followed by the time worked for Wednesday, the time worked for Thursday, and the time worked for Friday. For each week, we calculate the total time worked. To do that, we add the time worked for Monday to that of Tuesday, to that of Wednesday, to that of Thursday, and to that of Friday. We do the same for the second week. For our calculation, we behave as if the user worked overtime. So we set the regular time for the first week to 40 hours for the week. For the overtime, we subtract 40 from the time worked for the week. For the regular pay, we multiply the hourly salary by 40. And for the overtime pay, we multiply the hourly salary by 1.5 to get the time and a half. And then we multiply that result by the overtime. We will do the same for the second week. To calculate the salary, we wonder if the user worked less than 40 hours for the week, in which case we assign the time worked for the regular time. In this case, there is no overtime. For the regular pay, we multiply the hourly salary by the time worked. And the overtime pay is 0, since the employee worked less than 40 hours for the week. We perform the calculations the same way for the second week. To get the the net pay for the first week, we add the regular pay to the overtime pay, and that gives us the net pay for the first week. We do the same for the second week. We add the regular pay to the overtime pay, and that gives us the salary for the second week. To get the total salary, we add the net pay of the first week to the net pay of the second week. The rest of the application displays the pay summary. To test the application, if you are working in Microsoft Visual Studio, on the main menu, we click Debug, Start without debugging. When the values are requested, I type the first name and I press Enter. I type the last name and I press Enter. I type the hourly salary and I press Enter. For the time worked for the first week, for Monday I type 7 and I press Enter. Tuesday I type 8 and I press Enter. Wednesday I type 6.5 and I press Enter. Thursday I type 8.5 and I press Enter. Friday I type 7.5 and I press Enter. For the second week, for Monday I type 9.5 and I press Enter. For Tuesday I type 8.5 and I press Enter. For Wednesday I type 10.5 and I press Enter. For Thursday I type 9, I press Enter. And for Friday I type 8 and I press Enter. And the application shows the results. To close the DOS window, I press any key. The link for the code of the application is given in the description. Thank you.